one. Kencast.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Kencast. We're so happy to have you here today. We normally talk about all things movie and Cobra Kai and, things of general interest, pop culture. Today, we're going to be talking about not only something that impacts pop culture, but something from the very folklore of the United States and perhaps the world. An obsession. Some might say that he's an emblem of the paranormal. Some might call him a cryptid. But today we're going to learn that we can call him a friend. That's right. I'm talking about Bigfoot, Sasquatch. You may have seen him. You may not have seen him. You may have seen video of him. You may have seen people being interviewed and they're convinced that they've seen him and know him. But today you will meet Bigfoot, or I should say, the actor behind Bigfoot. And I'm not going to waste any more time. I am going to introduce one of today's special guests, Coalmin Degman. Coalmin, it is wonderful to have you. How are you doing, Coalmin?
I'm doing fantastic. It's wonderful to be here.
It's great to have you here. My goodness. So for anyone who doesn't know, Coalmin and I are old colleagues. We've been on stage before. We love doing comedic improv. And Coalmin, before we get into your history of, and you've been on here before talking about Cobra Kai, Karate Kid 3, and it's been a while. It's been like over a year since you've been on.
Yeah.
But for everyone who hasn't seen that stream, tell us about your background and yourself and what you're interested in.
Well, let's see. I am currently living in Moore, Oklahoma. I've lived in Moore, Oklahoma my whole life. I am big in the improv scene in Oklahoma. I'm in several troupes there. Misfortune Tellers, a couple of house troupes. Right now we are having our Fa La 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 Mark Holiday Hallmark musical special going on, and I'm a part of that. I love movies. I love comic books. I love video games. I currently am playing the new Pokemon game. So if that tells you a little bit about my interests, I'm very into nerd culture, if you will.
That's great. We had another content creator, Strife the Warrior. We did a collaboration where we played Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. Have you played that game?
I have not played it, but I have seen some gameplay of it, and it looks awesome.
Absolutely. And I will say, everyone watching, Coalmin is the first person to guest on this channel to give analysis on Terry Silver. So it's really great to have you back. You're an expert in so many things. Today, I think we're going to go in a very new direction, to new frontiers, and we're going to plumb the depths of what's possible out in the woods. And we're going to get your your expert opinion on that. First, I would love to say hi to everyone who's shown up today. Lisa, great to see you. Marianella, hi, how's it going? Ben, great to see you, Ben. Mario, wonderful. Happy Sunday. David, great to see you again. Josh, it's absolutely wonderful to have you. And guys, we will be just talking about this Bigfoot Me, which is the short film that is really been blown up beyond my expectations, beyond all of our expectations. It's played around the world. And how you doing, Terry Silver Rocks? Great to see you. And we've got Josh asked, Bigfoot Coalmin is taller than Terry Silver?
Ooh, I don't know that much. There's a lot of padding in that suit, so it added a lot of extra height to me.
Yeah, and you know what? We are going to see for the first time ever some behind the scenes footage, some shots of Coalmin actually in that Bigfoot suit. And so I don't know, maybe who everyone watching this, who do you think would win in a fight, Bigfoot or Terry Silver? Let us know in the live chat, and we'll get back to that later. But Coalmin, I want to start off, I think, by just bringing everyone up to speed on this. What Bigfoot Me is, as we were talking about before, it's like the short film that could. It's been seen all over the world. It's been up for awards, and it's just I think hopefully a lot of fun for everyone, and for everyone who hasn't seen it yet, there's a link in the description. But right now, let's watch the trailer for Bigfoot and Me, so we can kind of get on the same page. Here we go. My attempts to make contact with the legendary Bigfoot have come up dry, but I won't give up. I know I'll find him. You're more beautiful than I imagined. Okay, so there we go. There's Bigfoot and Me.
Oh gosh, that's so cool. I love it. Ah,
So we are going to be talking about this, but like you see the trailer, thinking back on this production, what are your initial thoughts on Bigfoot and Me and playing Bigfoot?
um, well, I would honestly have to say I absolutely loved being a part of it. Um, just getting to live out a fantasy of playing a Doug Jones type role where I'm just a creature. You don't see my face. You don't really know that it's me. Um, and I just get to be a monster, which I love monsters. I love giant monsters. I love small monsters. I love them all. Um, and seeing all that hard work that not only I did, but especially you and Sydney and Amber put into this, um, and seeing the finished product on how beautiful it is, like cinematography wise, your writing is phenomenal, and just the gorgeous scenery of that area too. That I don't remember exactly where that was. Was that in Edmond, or I don't remember, but
Yeah, it was like Western Oklahoma City, and we were very
yeah,
fortunate to come across it because, as you can see, that type of landscape is not very common in Oklahoma.
no,
It was so lush, it was kind of mystical.
yeah,
Uh,
it
yeah.
was like a fairy tale, like a magic, um, but more Bigfooty magic.
Yes, yes, indeed. And actually, while we're on that topic, for people who haven't seen it, or if they have seen it, let me play. I'm going to play a clip from the movie, and you can kind of see where we are. And this is a key moment for the main character Bert because he's been spending his entire life looking for Bigfoot. So this is a very key moment. So let me play this clip. Stop! Wait, stop! So yeah, that was so obviously a huge moment. That's the first time we see Bigfoot. And all I can think of is you were in that costume. You were inhabiting that costume in a very hot environment. Like it was hot when we were shooting. As you know, can you
Yeah.
tell people about the kind of heat you experienced?
So it was a heat unlike any I have ever felt. Because it's Oklahoma and was it spring or was it summer?
I think it was we shot kind of in early September and then we came back
That's right.
in October.
Yeah. Which basically in Oklahoma is pretty much still summer.
Yes.
But yes, so there was heat, not too humid, which made it a little bit better. But the suit had padding, like a spongy type padding, and then it had the material, and I was also wearing a shirt underneath that. So I definitely remember you guys constantly reminding me to drink water so that I could stay hydrated. But we also had these like absorbent like towels that could hold the cold water, and we were putting those on like on my shoulders and stuff, which was great for keeping me cool, but definitely added more weight on my shoulders, which that was another thing that I didn't think was going to be as much as it was. You don't realize having just a couple of extra inches, couple of sponges on your shoulder is just gonna weigh you down. Uh, and then you start to realize, oh, now I know why he's hiding and so grumpy. It's because of all the extra weight on his shoulders. Oh man.
Well, actually, I have some pictures of you in exactly what you're talking about. So here, I think
Mhm.
around your neck right now, if everyone can see that, that's one of those absorbent cloths, I think. And this is, I don't know if this was before we put you in a costume. I I think it was.
Yeah, it looks like it was because I don't look too tired yet.
Well, here we go. Here's so here's a picture of you. So this is Coleman, guys. No one's seen this before. This is the first time. We are seeing Coleman in the Bigfoot costume. So it's so funny. It's like Coleman's head seems so small
Yep.
uh, in the Bigfoot costume. And so this is what you're talking about. Just the padding and everything was weighing your shoulders down.
Yeah. And it's not that heavy a material because it's like foam. So I can hold it in one hand and lift it up and down like this just fine. But when it's constantly on your shoulders on top of all the fur and the fabric, it really it's a weight. It's a weight on your shoulders. And so I remember I would get home and I would just feel like I did a bunch of workouts. I don't lift weights, but I felt like I was lifting weights that day. Um,
Wow.
but honestly, I think that's what made it so much more special to me because it left a lasting impression on me, and so I would constantly replay in my head of the scenes that we were working on or the direction that you were sending me, like literally direction you were telling me to run. I would remember exactly what direction you told me to run.
Yes.
um, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. It was hot. It was constricting. I couldn't breathe, and that made it so much fun.
That's great. I am so glad that you had fun because I was concerned that it was way too hot, but you did such a good job. We have some funny clips that we'll play in a little bit. I want to get back to this idea that of Bigfoot versus Terry Silver. I know we have a lot of Cobra Kai fans. Um, Josh had asked, Bigfoot Coleman is taller than Terry Silver, and Cassandra Degman, who I think you know, says definitely not Coleman Bigfoot, which is pretty funny.
That is
Um, and
funny.
then Tig Terry Silver Rock says Terry would beat him with that kick. Free Silver. Yes. We got to
Yeah.
get Terry Silver out of jail, but it's interesting. That kick supposedly could take down Bigfoot, according to Tig Terry Silver Rocks. Flip the script. How you doing? Great to see you. David says Bigfoot versus Terry Silver, a great fight. And who do you think will win? That's the question. I
Mhm.
I think it might be closer than people think.
Yeah.
Terry Silver's almost superhuman in his skill, but I
Mhm.
mean, Bigfoot exists. I mean, he's almost out of myth, or
Yeah.
he could be real.
Mhm.
Bryce Productions, great to see you, Bryce. Josh says Buxton scene in Shawshank Redemption plus Stand By Me plus Chunk and Slaw equals Bigfoot and Me. Any place is a good place to find a friend. I think this film has soul of 80s adventure films. My
Yes.
goodness, thank you so much, Josh. I'm very touched actually by that comment. Thank you. And if you haven't seen it yet, guys, the link's in the description. Definitely check it out. It's not long. It's less than 5 minutes long, but hopefully, as Josh says, it will touch your heart in a special sort of nostalgic way.
Mhm.
Um,
Absolutely.
Flip the script says the costume is great detail. It'd be pretty scary bumping into that in the woods. Indeed. And
Yep.
it's interesting. We're going to get to this in just a second. We're going to have our cinematographer, Sydney Thompson, who did an absolutely fantastic job. And she's going to
Mhm.
tell a story about that. But Coleman, you'll remember that people did come through
Oh yeah.
to our set in the woods, and just normal people. They weren't suspecting anything,
Yeah.
and you were there.
Yeah, because it was just a public park that we were at, so anybody could be there. You didn't know who was gonna show up. They had a dog. I think somebody had a dog, and the dog was freaking out. It was like, "What is that? What's going on?" It was so fun because I would mess with them too, and I'd start dancing in the Bigfoot costume at them, and they would just start laughing. Oh, it was so much fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and I think at this point, what I'd like to do is introduce our cinematographer, Sydney
Yes.
Thompson. She has a lot of great stories, so talented, and she wasn't able to join us live, but I was able to do a video recording of an interview, and I'll bring that up. And Coleman, you and I and everyone watching will watch this together, and we'll talk about it on the flip side.
Yeah.
Let me bring up the interview, and we'll jump right into it. So I am very excited to have award-winning cinematographer, just an amazing talent, and she is responsible for the look of Bigfoot Me. Please welcome Sydney Thompson. Sydney, how are you?
Hi, Ken. Thanks so much for having me. I'm doing really good. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. It's so much fun to be talking about Bigfoot and Me. I had so much fun doing it. It was a very special crew out there in the woods, and we shot this thing. And what were your first thoughts thinking about this years ago?
Whenever we first got into it, I've always been drawn to spooky stories and definitely heard all about Bigfoot legends growing up. Who hasn't, though, I guess. But I remember as a kid going to the lake or going camping for the weekend and just always being on the lookout for him. So I was really excited to be a part of it. And it was also my first major project after college. So yeah, just really excited to be a part of it.
Yeah, and we were lucky enough to work together, and I saw your video work that you had done, and I was like, wow, that's I thought you would be perfect for this project, and you were. You did such an amazing job. And when we were out in the woods and we were shooting, like that, of course, was just it was in kind of a new type of project for me.
Mhm.
What were some of the, I don't know, thrills, but also challenges of doing that project?
So I would say, just because it was an outdoor shoot, kind of the lighting and trying to keep that consistent and even throughout the shoot was one of the challenges. And I know one of my goals going into the project was to try to make Bigfoot look as believable as possible. I mean, we had a great costume on hand, so that definitely helped. But just in terms of trying to get the scale right, I remember there was one scene that was shot over the shoulder of Bigfoot. And I remember that taking a couple of tries to get right. But I loved how it turned out just because it gives you the sense that he is just this huge towering figure.
Let's talk about your interest in movie making and cinematography. How did you get into filmmaking, or how did you pursue that?
Sure. So I started out in photography, and I think I had an interest in that from a pretty young age just because I have some family members who are photographers. Um, I took a couple of classes in high school and then went on to get my BFA at OU, emphasizing in both photography and videography. And like you mentioned earlier, we did work at together at OU Video and Media Services, so that also definitely helped get me experience in that as well.
I'm thinking about Coleman, poor Coleman, in that costume, because we were shooting and it was kind of hot. It was actually really hot in Oklahoma, and we were trying to keep him cool.
Mhm.
Um, and I think he did just an amazing job. That's great. I don't know, from your perspective behind the camera, what would you say about Coleman and his performance as Bigfoot? And I don't know, how did that strike you?
He was just so fun to work with. He yeah, made it so enjoyable to be there. I also remember a couple of times like people would stumble upon our shooting location and he would be in the costume and they would kind of freeze for a moment and then go up and ask to take a picture with them. So yeah, there were just a lot of really fun moments, behind the scenes on our break times and even while shooting.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. Because there was that time when someone actually thought it was really big
Yeah.
or a gorilla or something. And he's just standing there. And yeah, you're right. They went up and took a picture. I forgot about that. That's so much fun. You talked about the lighting and stuff like that. And let me here, I'm gonna play another clip just to kind of bring you back to that wonderful time. Okay, so this was like that scene, that famous shot
Yeah.
of the hands coming together. And as a cinematographer, what's kind of going through your brain here? Like what are you thinking? What are all the things you're thinking of kind of in this moment?
You know, really the lighting kind of makes that shot to me. The framing, it's really funny. You can see, and if I remember correctly, we went back and reshot this take, I
Yes.
think.
Yes, we did.
But yeah, a lot of things, lighting I think is one of the more important ones. The angle of kind of lower and shooting up to get that. Yeah, I love that shot. I think that's probably one of my favorite shots from the entire short film.
I want to thank you personally because you did something heroic. There's this shot where I have to go down and kiss Bigfoot's foot. And you like got down on the ground and you were handheld, and you just held that steady through like a million takes of me kissing that foot. And I just remember that, like, you were down on the ground in this uncomfortable position, hand holding that, and you're just like, all right, we need to go again. We need to go again. And got like all these takes of me kissing Bigfoot's foot, and we got some just amazing takes. And how did you do that? Or what was going through your head when we were doing that?
Honestly, I forgot that I even, got down on the ground like that until you but now I do remember that. Yeah, just trying to get the perfect shot. I remembered, and it was probably a little bit easier than it seemed because I was using the ground to kind of leverage and steady, my arms to hold the camera. But yeah, just really wanted to make sure that we got a good take.
In your opinion, did we capture Bigfoot in this movie? Is this the Bigfoot you thought of, or I don't know, what were your thoughts on the expectations of Bigfoot and what we actually got?
I think we did, and it was really interesting, being a part of this shoot. Um, yeah, like I mentioned, just always being on the lookout as a kid, it kind of brought me back to that same headspace of trying to capture him and on film, and it was just I think we succeeded. What do you think?
I think so.
Yeah.
When it was all done, I looked at it and I was just like, oh my gosh. Number one, this looks absolutely amazing. Like the way you shot this was so fantastic. And number two, I was just kind of like, oh, this is kind of a nice story, where you're, getting to meet Bigfoot, and it doesn't take itself too seriously. And yeah, I think so. I think it's a different Bigfoot than we've seen before.
I think
So
so too.
so now your work has been basically played at festivals around the world. You are, you were up for awards at these film festivals. I mean, what is that like, just as a creative, knowing that your work has been seen so much?
Yeah, it's incredible, and honestly, just a little bit hard to wrap my head around. But so exciting that so many people are seeing it and hopefully enjoying it too.
So I have a really important question for you.
Sure.
Is Bigfoot real?
I want to say yes. I can't say for sure whether or not he is, but I do know that the kid inside of me refuses to die. So anytime I'm in a woodsy area, I'll be on the lookout, either for Bigfoot or Coleman in a Bigfoot costume.
Well, Sydney, thank you so much for all of your great work on Bigfoot and Me. And also, thank you for joining us today. It's been just great listening to all of your stories from that shoot.
And thank you so much for having me, Ken. It's been so much fun to revisit and talk about the shoot again.
Wow. There we go. Wasn't that awesome?
That was
Just
so cool.
Yeah, it's so cool to hear from Sydney. What were your thoughts? Because obviously you're working with Sydney through a costume,
Mhm.
and she's shooting, everything you're doing. And but actually, before I want to get to some of these amazing comments,
Yeah.
Flip the Script says, I think Tom Savini would be proud of Sydney's work. Yes, I think so. It's a great comment. Josh says, Sydney and Ken, I like how you use light. Congrats. Yeah, light was I'm
Mhm.
very happy with the look and how it turned out. WJC Music, great to see you. Welcome, Joseph. Thanks for joining us. Tig Terry Silver Rock says, I can see this as a blockbuster. Baloo from Jungle Book meets Bigfoot. Interesting, interesting.
Yeah.
Josh says this use of light and shadows. Indeed, yeah, absolutely. And Joseph agrees. Yes. And so your experience working with Sydney, who just did a great job, and we saw a little snippets of her work, and check
Mhm.
out in the link to watch the full movie to really see everything. So many like great shots in there.
Yeah.
But what was your experience working with Sydney out in the woods on this very difficult shoot?
Well, she is very professional. And she would be very focused in on what she was needing to do. And so I would always try and just follow her direction, your direction to the T. Because I didn't want to get in the way of any of y'all's creative process because I knew that you guys were making magic. And she was just very talented and knew what she needed to do. And she would often, make you do several takes or have me do several takes. And she very, very in it. Like you said, she was got down on the ground. We didn't scoot any grass or any bugs away. She just got down in there and was in the thick of it. So yeah, she was awesome to work with. Very nice too. Very
Yeah,
nice.
right. And it's like there are all kinds of different people, who
Mhm.
work with you on film sets and creatives, and so many have different talents. She's talented, but she kind of uniquely, I think, I don't know, has this calming quality
Yes.
that allows us to be creative.
Yeah.
It's very, very, very cool.
Yeah. Yeah. She was very, very calm. And I'm trying to think of I can't think of any specific examples, but she was just yeah, calm, collected, knew what she wanted, expressed it in the most uh just expressive way that you understood what she was saying. There was no confusion. There was no what did she mean by this? You knew exactly what she wanted and you could do it because she knew that you could do it. She was awesome.
Yes, she was very, very good. You know what else she did too? Looking back through all the footage, if there was a moment, because Coleman, you and I were improvising together in
Mhm.
troops and everything like that, and so sometimes we would just like blow off steam or vent through just
Yeah.
improvising things on the spot. And she turned on the camera when we were doing some of that. I
Oh
want to I want
no.
to play I want to play a little clip. No one's
Okay.
seen this before.
Oh
You
no.
you, you haven't seen it. No one's
No,
seen this.
I haven't.
Yes. So check this out.
Peace. You like Mountain Dew?
I like my Mountain.
You like Mountain Dew? Okay, well, maybe we can go back and get some Mountain Dew and kind of hang out and talk to each other in the woods, huh?
Yeah, I like hanging out in the woods and doing the dew in the Mountain Dew. Hey, we could do it on a mountain too.
Yeah, we definitely. I'd like that, because I don't have many friends. You see what I'm saying? And it seems you're here, and maybe we could go to a mountain and drink some and talk a little bit.
Do it.
Okay.
I just want you to know that I got that all on camera.
Oh my gosh, I forgot we did that.
Yeah.
Oh man. Ah,
Lots
God, I
lots
miss working with you. Ah,
it was a lot of fun. A lot of
a
fun.
lot of fun.
We do have a question from Josh. Why the kiss? Was it necessary? Well, if you haven't seen it, watch it. And I think afterwards you'll agree that yes, it was
Yes,
absolutely necessary.
absolutely necessary, especially all the takes. After watching that, I was like, she did that on purpose. Someone did it to you on purpose, and it's magic.
Yeah, it is. How did it feel like having your Bigfoot foot kissed so many times? Could you feel that
I
through the costume?
felt like pampered, like just like you know, whenever you're like sick and when you were a kid and your mom would bring you soup and you just felt like so special. That's what it felt like. It felt like you were like being my mom. So I appreciate it.
Hey, if I can be your mom, if anything, I'm happy. Coleman.
You're Bigfoot's mom. Bigfoot
Bigfoot's mom.
did not grow up with a mom, so he definitely
Oh.
appreciated it.
Oh, wow. Oh my gosh. That's so touching. That's so touching. So another thing that I want to bring up and talk about is your performance. Not only did you physically inhabit Bigfoot, and I want to bring up this video because we saw a little bit of it before, but oh gosh. Well, okay, let me oh dear. Okay, hang on. I'm sorry, I don't have that clip. But basically, you just inhabited this character physically, but you also inhabited this character just with your voice, you know, and the sounds you made. And how did you come up with those unique sounds and growls and clicks and everything that we hear?
Well, I love the movies, the Predator movies. And so I grew up trying to imitate those noises. And I finally, I don't remember what age, but I was able to do it. And so I can hear. That hurts my nasal region. So when I do it often, like when we were filming, I would often produce a lot of phlegm. And so you would often hear me cough and just gag because there would just be so much phlegm. Sorry, TMI, but I love making that noise. It scares the crap out of people. If I ever get to play Predator, they won't need to have any sound mixing. I can do all the sounds myself.
Yeah, no kidding. And I would pay. I think the entire world would pay to see you as Predator. I would just absolutely love to see that. And I actually have a video clip. I found it of you actually performing this, and you just did these growls. Here, let's watch this. That's amazing, though. It's like you would just come up with these growls.
I will say that that last little bit there, after that final Predator sound, that was me having a little bit of a phlegm attack, but I tried to hide it in a growl. So part of that is just necessity. I had to make a noise, and so I used that too. It's just what I had to do.
Yeah, and actually, on that note, I think there's a moment. This is about the same time. Let me play this clip too. Again, no one's ever seen this stuff before. Let me play this. All right, Coleman, go back behind the tree. We're going to do that. You're doing great. That phlegm is incredible. All right. You're doing amazing. You need water?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm making all those noises, using a lot of my
Yeah, and it's like, yeah, you were producing all that, but like you were hot at the same time. You needed water. I mean, that was a difficult situation. You just did an amazing job under all that pressure.
Again, I loved it. I don't have a big pain threshold, but that wasn't pain. That was more of like an endurance. check, if you will. And I think I thrive under those conditions. It gives me a lot of room to work, because when I'm enduring a lot of stress and stuff like that, it gives me something to work with, some place for the character to go to. I love it. I love it. It is so much fun, and I would do it again in a heartbeat.
Awesome. That's very good to know. We do have some comments. Cassandra Dugman says, I can confirm he scares me at the time. Indeed. Josh asks a very good question. Ken Cole, tornadoes, Bigfoot, or Terry Silver, what is more dangerous? You know something? That's a great point. Josh, you've kind of put this theme together. It seems like I'm personally obsessed with things that can be extremely dangerous. But if you approach them the right way, they could be your best friends. I mean, whether it's tornadoes, Bigfoot, or Terry Silver, I think that's true. I would say potentially Terry Silver, because I don't know, he could, if you get on his bad side, he could mean you harm. Whereas I don't know if Bigfoot and tornadoes would mean you harm. I don't.
Now,
what do you think about that, Coleman?
well, me seeing this, my mind went, okay, so there's Sharknado, Bigfoot NATO, but the tornado was produced by Terry Silver kicking so hard that a tornado formed and picked up Bigfoot. I'm just saying,
Yes,
Terry Silver has the ability.
you're right. Yes, he's so powerful that he can control nature and create a tornado. Wow, I love that. That's great. Flip the script. Karate Kid Video Edit says, any plans on a sequel combining Bigfoot with Cobra Cole? Maybe both stories could tie together somehow.
Yeah.
That would be insane. That would be insane. I'm trying to think. That you blew my mind. Flip the script. I don't know. That's Coleman. I don't know if you've seen Cobra Cole, but it kind of takes place potentially in the Terry Silver Karate Kid universe. And the idea of bringing Bigfoot into that, maybe we could see that fight scene you're talking about with Terry Silver kicking Bigfoot.
Yeah. And Bigfoot just falling flat.
Exactly. We have a comment from Tig Terry Silver Rocks. Coleman, you would be great in Planet of the Apes.
Thank you. No, I would absolutely love to be in anything Planet of the Apes. That would be so cool to play orangutan or a gorilla or any kind of ape, really.
Well, I think I want to add to this because I think it's a great comment. Coleman and I performed in a troupe. We actually performed in a troupe that performed everywhere, even the Del Close Marathon in New York City. It was called Zoom. And so this improv troupe, guys, I don't know if you've seen improv before, but we get up on stage, we basically take suggestions from the audience and we just make it up. We make up these scenes. Zoom is very different because you cannot use words. You would use your body. You would you can make vocalizations, but you can't talk to each other. So it was very physical, a lot of miming, a lot of doing all of that. Coleman was in Zoom, but even beyond that, Coleman is one of the few performers that you or I could give a suggestion, like be an ape in Planet of the Apes, be Bigfoot, be any kind of creature or inanimate object, and Coleman could perform that for you. I don't mean to put you on the spot, Coleman, but yeah, you have a very specific, unique talent to just physically inhabit that and make it funny.
Well,
and so I think Terry Silver Rocks is sensing that. In your performances, that you would be amazing playing, one of the main ape characters in Planet of the Apes.
I would like to think that a lot of that is to me being raised on cartoons or raised by cartoons, essentially. I watched, and I can.
Oh, we might have lost Coleman. Hang on. We'll see if we get him back. It's interesting though. Coleman. There we go. Coleman.
Oh, back.
Yeah, we got you back.
Okay.
So last we heard you were raised by cartoons.
Yes, I watched a lot of different cartoons growing up, and so I think it just was ingrained in me to be as over the top and as charactery and as creaturey as possible. So I love playing characters like that. I love playing animals, monsters, a lamp, a TV, a toaster oven. You know, it's you don't realize that you can do so much with so little
Yes.
until you actually do it, and then you're like, oh, this is huge. I can go all the way to Europe and back with this idea. It is so fun to play those types of characters, for me at least. I don't know about
Yeah.
other people, but I love playing those characters.
And it's fun just as an audience member. It's so fun to see that transformation, you know, and just see you inhabit that. Yeah, 100%. And while we're talking about that, you played Bigfoot, but here is here's a shot of you kind of maybe taking a character break from Bigfoot. I don't know. I'll let you tell me. Yes. We could try to do another take. I bet this could look funny because it's still so what so tell us about that moment. It was amazing. I don't think we've seen Bigfoot dance before.
So that was I was probably not having a heat stroke, but I was definitely feeling it at that time, like feeling the heat and the pressure. And so I was just, sometimes I just like to dance to kind of relieve the pressure and the stress. And those gloves, so my hands aren't in those gloves because it's really lengthy, and so they were like little wooden dowels that I was holding onto, and so it was almost like I was pretending like I was at a rave, and those were glow sticks, Bigfoot glow sticks, and so I was just dancing and trying to relieve the stress and the pressure of all that heat and weight on my shoulders.
Oh, amazing. It's so fun to watch. We have some comments. Josh says, in Bigfoot and Me Too, nice. If Bigfoot had a father, would he have a ponytail?
I hope so.
Wouldn't that be incredible?
That would be awesome.
You know, that's an interesting parentage. I think you might be bringing up the character of Terry Silver, and I know we've speculated that Terry Silver's the father of everyone. Now he could be the father of Bigfoot.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Tig Terry Silver Rocks says, Coleman, you do it so well. Great job.
Thank you.
Yes. Bryce Production says, Ken Cole and Coleman, what is your favorite Bigfoot movie? Well, aside from Bigfoot and Me, of course, because that has to be our favorite. Coleman, what is your favorite Bigfoot movie?
Probably my favorite Bigfoot movie isn't directly a Bigfoot movie, but it's the Goofy movie with Bigfoot in it. And so Goofy he's like fly fishing and he accidentally catches Bigfoot. And Bigfoot, that's another one where I love the sounds that Bigfoot is making because he's just so like, and it's so funny. Again, it's a cartoon, so how can I not pick a Goofy movie?
There you go. I love that. Wouldn't have expected it at all. Great pick. I don't know. To me, there's so many Bigfoot movies where Bigfoot's the threat. You know, there are a lot of, say, I don't know what you call them, maybe B movie Bigfoot movies. To me, that's just the nostalgia of it. I might go back to Harry and the Hendersons. You know, John Lithgow and Bigfoot, Harry. You know, so. Dorothy, it's great to have you. No such thing as too late. Wonderful that you're here. MOTU Thunder, can Bigfoot be found in any other country? Well, I don't know. He could be named different things. I know that, I don't know if you have a particular knowledge, Coleman, with your kinship with the Bigfoot creature himself, but can we find Bigfoot in countries beyond the United States?
Well, Canada probably, but I don't know if that really counts since we're on the same continent. I know a lot of people think that the abominable snowman and Bigfoot are related. I think there is an Australian version of Bigfoot. I don't remember its name. Apart from that, I don't see why he can't be in any other country. I mean, I'm sure he can get on a boat.
I love that. Why not? They're sophisticated creatures. They might even construct boats.
I'm just
maybe.
saying.
Yeah.
I've never seen a big hairy boat, but that doesn't mean they're not out there.
Right. Exactly. We've got a comment from OKC Improv, a wonderful organization. I've seen Coleman as Bigfoot in a musical show. You haven't seen anything until you've seen Bigfoot the musical. And this is from Kendon Lacey, just another genius improviser from
Absolutely.
OKCI. I'll get your response to Bigfoot the musical and your performance in that.
So it was actually very similar to Bigfoot Me. All Bigfoot wanted was friends.
Yes.
And he thought the way to do that was to just make it big in college and get a college degree and go on to be a big successful business owner. But really all Bigfoot needed to do to have friends was be there for the friends that he already had.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Was that moment ever captured on video? Can we watch that?
Ooh, I don't know, but I'm sure it can be. I think that was a level 3 musical class that I was in. You can go into OKCI on YouTube. We have a YouTube channel there. There's categories, and I'm pretty sure that there's musical classes categories that you can go and look. You should watch any video because there are some great performances there. All the performances there are great, but definitely go check that out. That was I loved doing those shows, the musical improv shows, but yeah, it was more special when I played Bigfoot.
Of course. And let me bring this up again because this, I believe, is the YouTube channel, OKC Improv. If you guys are interested, you can check out OKC Improv for sure. So much talent there, so much great entertainment. Dorothy says, instead of Harry and the Hendersons, it should be Terry and the LaRussos. I see a spinoff. That would be absolutely fantastic. That's great. There's another, we have a guest on here, Chris Maffei, who's, brings up that idea of a Terry Silver spinoff sitcom called That's So Terry,
Yeah. That would be awesome too.
Oh yes. Dorothy says, my cousin Bigfoot. Yeah, there you go. Josh says Bigfoot is the Terry lawyer, my cousin Bigfoot. Yes. That's great. Marianella has a comment here in Argentina a few months ago. A lady saw Bigfoot. I think she recorded it, but the image was very blurry. Okay, so Argentina, guys, if you were wondering if Bigfoot could exist in other countries, this is a big yes.
Yeah,
this is
that's awesome.
Argentina?
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, Argentina, and maybe some video. I'm gonna have to go look for this.
Yeah, me too. After this, we'll go on YouTube.
Yes. MOTU Thunder, I think Masters of the Universe Thunder. I did hear maybe a Bigfoot in Russia, which that would make perfect sense.
Yeah.
There's so much land, so much expanse in Russia for Bigfoot, and probably both versions, the abominable snowman and just, as we see in Bigfoot Me, sort of the warmer temperate zone Bigfoot.
Maybe their lost cousin is there. The link that separated between Bigfoot and the abominable snowman originates from Russia.
I love it. Yeah, I think you're probably exactly right. I trust your instincts when it comes to Bigfoot. You nailed him. So if you say that, I give that considerable weight. I think it's true. I think it's absolutely true. Dorothy says, unfortunately, none here in Northern Ireland. That's too bad. If they're not there, maybe they'll move there sometime.
Yeah, they'll migrate eventually.
Yeah, they will. I think so. Josh says Bigfoot for the Sakai Takai jury. Wow, that would be so. Yes, so everyone who's some people might be watching who are fans of the show Cobra Kai in season 5. There's this great international youth martial arts competition called the Sakai Takai, very prestigious. And so, Josh says that Bigfoot should be on the judging jury for the
Yep.
Sakai Takai. I agree. And in Bigfoot and Me, it's about friendship, but we didn't see the fighting skills of Bigfoot or what would happen if Bigfoot got mad. And let me ask you that, Coleman, if you had to play a scene as Bigfoot and Bigfoot got mad at something or something was a threat to Bigfoot, how would Bigfoot react? And how powerful would he be? Would he be prone to fighting and violence? Would he be good at it?
I would like to think that he would start off with the silent treatment, and just completely ignore you. But once he got to that boiling point, yeah, he's gonna start throwing some hands, throwing some feet. I don't know if you've seen those hands and those feet. Those are some big honking hands and feet. One swipe with them, and I don't know if you're waking up in the morning. Now, that's for the average Joe. If we're talking about Terry Silver, I mean, it's gonna be I don't think Bigfoot's gonna fare too well. But
No.
I can see Bigfoot knocking over a car if he's really angry.
Yeah.
Like some major gorilla type muscles. Again, nothing compared to Terry Silver, but still.
Though it is possible that just as far as brute strength, Bigfoot would be stronger than Terry Silver.
Yes, brute strength wise, Bigfoot has more muscles. When it comes to honed skills and potency, Bigfoot doesn't do sparring. He doesn't take kickboxing or anything like that. Jogger. He might be able to beat Terry in a marathon, especially if it's through the woods. But
Yes.
when it comes to fighting, fist versus fist, I don't see it ending too well for Bigfoot.
Wow. Coleman has called it. He has called it. And this is the man who played Bigfoot. So I think there might be something to it. Guys, I love this. Dorothy says #Silvers. I love you guys that you're like bringing together these ideas of Bigfoot and Terry Silver. This may be the first time in history that we've put those two characters together.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that that's happened here on this live stream. And we never know. It could happen. It could happen in the future. Yeah. Flip the Script says none here in Wales, UK, as far as I know. So, okay. So we've had 0 reports from Northern Ireland, 0 reports from Wales. I'm kind of wondering if Bigfoot is somewhere in the Highlands in Scotland.
Ooh.
I'm wondering.
Maybe he's hiding out in an old abandoned castle out there.
Maybe. Wouldn't that be amazing to see Bigfoot or a family of big feet in a castle?
Ooh. Bigfoot royalty. That is an idea. That's an idea.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Dorothy brings out a good point. Bigfoot, like Terry, is misunderstood.
Mm-hmm.
And Coleman, can you talk about how Bigfoot is misunderstood?
Well, like the musical version of Bigfoot is lonely. He didn't grow up with a family. His mom just, soon as he was born, kicked him out. Bam, get out into the woods. So yeah, Bigfoot isn't trying to hurt anybody. He might be trying to scare you away, but that's because he doesn't know how to love. Bigfoot doesn't know how to appreciate other people because he's never had somebody appreciate him. And I think that's really telling of why he hides, because he doesn't want to get hurt. He doesn't want to feel sad. He just wants to frolic and be happy, but not by himself.
Wow. Oh my gosh. I feel so bad for Bigfoot. You know, now I want to go out and actually befriend him in real life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
yeah.
very touching. Very touching, Coleman. Um, Flip the Script says Bigfoot and a karate gi would be a sight to behold. He might want to do that, right? I
Yeah.
mean, well, you talk about, you know, the loneliness and the misunderstanding. Well, martial arts seems to be a great avenue for people to
Hmm.
discover themselves, learn about themselves, and defend themselves. It would make sense for Bigfoot to try out martial arts, don't you think?
Yeah. That would be a really interesting way for him to connect with people. Because I mean, if all he's ever done is run, forcing him to learn how to defend himself, how to confront, that may be something else that he's missing. You know, his flight or fight. All he's ever known is flight. Maybe it's time for Bigfoot to learn how to fight.
Indeed. In a very defensive,
Yes.
honorable, and
Yes.
ancient style of fighting.
Yeah. Ooh.
Wouldn't that be great? Josh says in Halloween Party in Cobra Kai season 6, if Bigfoot appears, it will not be a surprise. Wouldn't that be great? That'd
That would
be
be
amazing. It'd be perfect for a Halloween party. Flip the script. Following up on Scotland, Bigfoot swimming with Loch Ness. Now that would be a video.
Yeah.
Right. The Loch Ness monster, Bigfoot riding the Loch Ness monster. Wouldn't that be great?
Bigfoot tamed the Loch Ness monster, and that's how that's how he defeats Terry Silver. He teams up with the Nessie.
Wow. Wouldn't that be great? I would love to see somehow to convince Terry Silver to go to Loch Ness. Like Terry Silver has to go to Loch Ness for some reason, and that's where Bigfoot confronts Terry Silver with Nessie.
Bigfoot tricked him to go there. That's what happened. Sent him an invitation. He couldn't refuse the invitation to come to Loch Ness because Bigfoot knew. That's how he
Bigfoot
gets
knew.
him.
Maybe it was a very rare bottle of Cayman wine that lured him. Oh, he just couldn't turn it down.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't turn it down.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds like poor Terry. Josh says Bigfoot is in the Ennis house where Ken didn't want to go in Cobra Cole. Yes, that's entirely possible too. Maybe the Ennis house, that grand house that Terry Silver lived in, Bigfoot moved in and kicked out Terry Silver, and he was in there, and no one dared go into the Ennis house because that's the new high class residence of Bigfoot.
Bigfoot.
Yeah, maybe.
Bigfoot lives in style.
So we have a question from Dorothy. Which dojo would Bigfoot choose? So Miyagi-Do, Miyagi style. There's Cobra Kai, strike first, strike hard. And then the offshoot Eagle Fang that Johnny came up with. I don't know, you could say it's kind of a hybrid between the two. Well, do you think, Coleman, that Bigfoot would join Miyagi-Do, Cobra Kai, or Eagle Fang?
Well, I would honestly have to say Miyagi style because Bigfoot has been around forever. So he would probably want to go with the most traditional and the most historically, I don't know if I wouldn't say accurate, but the most historical version. So, yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
He has great taste. I love that. And Chad says this is some important stuff. I couldn't agree more, Chad. I mean, we're going to new areas of importance here, things that humanity has not discovered before today. I don't think these questions have even been asked in the history of the world until this live stream.
That's this is what's the thing? Nobel Prize winning science we're doing here. I mean,
it is.
Just saying.
Yeah, it is 100%. Bryce says, this is a question for Coleman. Do you like Cobra Kai, Coleman?
Well, that's an interesting question because for me to like Cobra Kai, I would have had to actually watched more than 1 or 2 episodes. I like the episodes that I have seen. I just haven't devoted enough time to sit down and binge the series like I want to. I feel like I would like it because I really enjoyed the Karate Kid movies that I watched for our original live stream that we did. It is on my list. There's a lot of things on my list that I need to watch that I have not watched. I am a bad nerd.
Well, you can say it. You can say it, Coleman. You were reluctant to go in and invest your time in Cobra Kai until you were assured that Terry Silver would be making a substantial appearance.
Yes. Yep.
And so now that he has, you're clear to go ahead and watch the series.
I'm clear to take off.
That's it. That's wonderful. Dorothy says, I love this conversation. Thank you, Dorothy. And thank you for everyone who's chatting, who's giving us comments.
Yes.
We love your comments. And I think today we've come up with some magic with everyone's ideas together.
Yes.
Let's see. Josh says, who would have the best behavior on the dance floor, Cousin Louie or Bigfoot? You know, I'm going to have to go with Bigfoot. We haven't seen him on the dance floor yet, but we saw that clip of Coleman dancing as Bigfoot. You can't beat that.
If there's any indication as to how good Bigfoot would be on the dance floor, I love dancing. I thought about pursuing dancing as a career.
Oh, wow.
So I think Bigfoot has some untapped potential there. If you were to not only throw him into a dojo, but also to throw him into a dance class, contemporary or tap, or even ballet, I think you'd be surprised at how well he would do. Because he would do well.
Yes, I think you're exactly right about that. Cyclicy Edits, I hope I pronounced that right. Mike Bards is greater than Johnny in their youth. That's a good opinion. I think we got to throw Bigfoot into this. I mean, that's a good question. Of the younger Nemesis people, would Bigfoot win? Oh, what do you think, Coleman?
I would say most likely, because if it's not Terry Silver we're talking about, are they really going to be able to put much of a fight against the big, beefy, bulky master of hide and seek, Bigfoot? I mean, maybe. Mike Barnes would put up a pretty good fight. But I think Bigfoot might pull out ahead on that one, just based on sheer muscle strand mass alone.
Yeah. It's tough. It's tough to beat Bigfoot unless you're Terry Silver. 100%. Tig Terry Silver Rock says, "What music were you listening to in your dance moves?" Laugh out
loud. If we're talking about that, the video that we watched earlier, it's whatever music was going on in my head. So probably Daft Punk or David Bowie, one of the two.
I love that. That's great. Flip the Script says to Coleman, you should definitely check out Cobra Kai, Coleman. You're in for a treat. Seriously. I think so. I think you would really enjoy it. Yes.
You know, now that I have more free nights, I might actually be able to devote some time to my list of things. So that might be something I start in the new year.
Excellent. That's wonderful. Well, Coleman, I want to take this opportunity to thank you for coming on, but also shout out to Amber Cole, who worked as a PA on Bigfoot and Me, this movie that we did. Yes. My sister Jess Cole helped out as a PA. Sydney Thompson, who you saw earlier, phenomenal work as a cinematographer. Just incredible look to this movie, Bigfoot and Me. And Coleman, do you have any kind of like thoughts on that experience, on that movie, that everyone can check out by clicking the link in the description right now? We just had a great showing at Shockfest yesterday, yet another film festival. It's shown around the world, been nominated for awards. What are your thoughts on Bigfoot and Me?
If I could put it into one.
Oh no, hang on. We lost Coleman. Once we get him back, I'll launch back into that. But yeah, Bigfoot and Me, it's very near and dear to my heart. I love how it turned out.
Sorry.
And I am about to give it back to Coleman. We've got him back. Okay. Coleman.
Yeah.
Your thoughts.
I said it earlier. What was it? It was dignity. That's what I would say, dignity, because without the dignity of Bigfoot and the dignity that Sydney did on her cinematography and the dignity that you did in the writing and direction, it would not have been the magic that it was and still is.
Well, thank you. Oh my gosh, Coleman, you touched my heart, and I'm so glad that came across because some might say it's lighthearted, some might call it a comedy,
Mhm.
but I think you're right. There's that truth to it. There's that feeling of friendship. There's that sincerity, the dignity, and
Yep.
that's what a wonderful compliment. So that's really fantastic, and so thank you for joining us today, Coleman. And
Thank
people,
you.
if they're in the Oklahoma City area, where can they see you perform?
They can see me perform and a bunch of other great performers at OKCI, Oklahoma City Improv, in the Plaza District. Go on to okci.com, and you can purchase tickets for upcoming shows. We have shows every Friday and Saturday at both 7:30 and 9:30. Like I said, we're still in the midst of our Fa La 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 Mark musical specials going on. So you still have an opportunity to check that out. We have shows for New Year's Eve. We have some special shows going on then, including a kid-friendly show at 6 p.m. that day. Yeah, check it out, okci.com.
Yes, there are kid-friendly shows. It also can skew kind of very adult humor too. Is that right?
Yes,
Yeah.
9:30 shows are they can sometimes be R-rated. 7:30 shows PG-13, just depending on the troop.
Right. Indeed. And
Yeah.
that's wonderful. Everyone definitely check that out. Uh, Cobra Kai shirt says "Love you," and
Oh,
what a
thank
great,
you.
what a great, what a great comment. And I agree, Coleman. I love you.
Oh,
And
I love you,
I
kid.
Yeah, thank you. It's been too long. I'm so glad you came back, and I hope we can get you back again. It's just an absolute delight to have you here. Thank you for your wonderful performance as Bigfoot and Bigfoot and Me. Everyone should check that out now. Thanks for telling us all of your behind the scenes stories about the production.
Thank you for having me. It's been a blast.
Okay, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. We look forward to seeing you next time on Kencast. We'll have all kinds of great topics. We're waiting right now. I know a lot of you are huge Cobra Kai fans. We're waiting for news on that series. We don't know what's happening yet, but keep it here and we will talk about any news that pops up. Hopefully we'll be having some great discussions about movies, maybe Christmas Vacation, all these classics.
Yep.
And if there are things that you guys want to talk about in these live streams, go ahead and put it in the comments below this video, and not just in the live chat. Put it in the comments. We read all the comments, and we would look forward to having those discussions. All of you are so amazing for tuning in, whether live or on replay. You're all beautiful people. I hope all of you go out into the woods and find your own personal Bigfoot to be friends with. And I hope you have a magical, magical day. So thank you, Coleman. I wish for that for you too.
One final thought from me.
Yes. Perfect. Thank you, everyone. Coleman just gave us his Bigfoot voice. So amazing. So Coleman, thank you, and have a good rest of the day.
You too.
Okay. See you, everyone.